Hi, welcome. You're watching Shyla Reads Badass Lit. I'm Shyla. Thanks for watching. So today I want to talk about On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is the same author who wrote The Hate You Give, who has like the amazing movie that came out. On the Come Up just came out in February, so I read it pretty fast and I was really excited about it. What I love about Angie's writing is that it's super easy to read, it's super casual, it's really easy to kind of plop yourself into this environment, into this, into this world. Seeing it through a child's eyes, racial, the segregation, the poverty, the gang activity is pretty powerful, and I think Angie really uses that to her story's advantage. Again, you're gonna be reading this book, if you haven't already done so, with a badass protagonist, Bree, and her dad was a rapper who got shot. You'll be going through this journey with her as she goes through trying to make it as a rapper on her own without having her dad's name behind it. He got involved with the gangs, the Garden Disciples and the Crowns down there at Garden Heights. It's the same setting that was in The Hate You Give. I think we need more stories like this based in neighborhoods like that to show what we don't go through. I mean, I wouldn't say I lived in like the suburbs, but I definitely lived in a suburb environment where I wasn't worried about, gun violence or walking the streets at night. Granted, my mom didn't let me do that anyway, but it's fine. You don't know until you know, I think you'll really love the casualness, yet how high the stakes are for Bree. It's just a really good story that'll really make you think about, what our kids are going through. Even after reading On the Come Up, you don't fully understand unless you lived it, and that's why we need more stories like this. So for those of you who haven't read it, go read it and then come back. We're going to be discussing. And for those of you who did, stay tuned.
Out of the darkness and into the light, follow your heart, do with what's inside, don't let them fool you. Must have been shot down from this.
Yes, so you've read On the Come Up. What do you think? What are your thoughts? My biggest thought was the poetry and the hip-hop lines. I thought Angie really brought her experience as a rapper to the program. I don't know if you know this about Angie, but yeah, she used to be like trying to be a YouTube rapper star while also dealing with her mom losing her job and them living in poverty. I'm sure the story hits so close to home for her. And I just want to say thank you, Angie, for writing this and writing The Hate You Give. You are giving a voice to the kids that are just now being able to tell their stories in an environment that will listen. Yeah, very powerful. So the poetry in this is really cool. Her fearlessness, her recklessness as a teenager, her emotions, falling in love, wanting to hide it. And I think what was really, really cool was her touching on this like whole angry black woman trope that a lot of movies touch on, and especially written by white people. They use African Americans as these, like, either they're entertainers, again, she touches on this in the book too, or they're these angry, violent people, and that's just not true. They're just expressing their emotions, and if it was me expressing my emotion like that, I wouldn't be going to the principal's office like Bree did. I'm sure I had an attitude in high school, especially to my chorus teacher, Mr. Perry. I am so sorry, but I didn't get sent to the principal's office at all. I don't even think I knew a principal in high school. Again, that's why these stories are so important, because, people of color, they're just viewed differently. I think the younger people coming up and, my generation and the generation after me, they don't feel this way unless they're taught by their stupid ass parents. Excuse my language, but I'm gonna put that out there. So that's great, and that's why they have this this medium to tell this story, like On the Come Up and Hate You Give, and even like Jesmyn Ward. I'm drawing a blank, but I have them on my bookshelf. But yeah, like, I think it's getting easier, but it's still out there. It's still a trope and something that's harmful to the stories of Black people and people of color. So you'll see she'll touch on that, like Bree says something like, oh, now I'm the angry black girl or something like that. The crazy scene when she was with Supreme at the studio, which didn't that give you like a Straight Outta Compton vibe, like that the Jerry dude? That's who I pictured the character as, is the Straight Outta Compton Jerry guy. And right off the bat, I mean, you kind of just get this like schemy, like all he wants to do is make a buck off of you type vibe, which I get it, like you're a manager, you're a producer, that's what you want to do. But at the same time, this is a child. She's 16 years old and she has a story to tell, and it's way more important for her to tell her story, just like it's important for Angie to tell her story, than it is for you to make billions of dollars off of her for playing a role. Like, playing a role of the violent gang member is just not gonna fly for Bree. You know, her being a child, that scene really got me. That scene was like, put it really into perspective. Like, this girl's got a voice, this girl's got a story, this girl's got rhymes, but she's not gonna be able to express her emotions in the right way, in the right context, because everyone is just taking her at skin value. And yeah, you should know that she's black, and yeah, you should know that she's a rapper, but like, no, you should not assume that she's this violent, gun-holding teenager. I mean, shit, like, do your research, basically, you know, like, it's wild. Yeah, so that scene with Supreme where he's like, you did the scene where Supreme, where she was in the radio studio and she went off because DJ Hype is a worse version of Charlamagne to God, although I do love the Breakfast Club, I'm not saying that. Just Charlamagne and DJ Hype obviously know how to go and push their buttons, basically. And when they got out of there, Supreme was like, you did exactly what I told you to do all those weeks ago. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he goes, you played that role, baby girl, da-da-da-da. You played that role. And so she's like, crap, now all these people who already are writing petitions to get my song put off of that cloud, now they're gonna see me as what they think I am, a violent black girl. It makes me so sad because, I mean, I can't imagine, you know, the kids that I grew up with, like, they're going through what every other kid's going through, plus you add on people are profiling them because of their skin. It's just, it really blows my mind because they're more than that. They're not just black people, they're singers and they're poets and they're writers and they're athletes and they're comedians and they're mathematicians and they're scientists and they love books and they love space and they love, I don't know, the weather and going to the park. And I mean, it blows my mind the generation before us and generations before us depicted people of color in such a savage light, and it makes me so sad, and it brings tears to my eyes sometimes, because that could be you, that could be me, and your skin could be one shade darker, one shade lighter, and it's like a world of difference. And that's why it blew my mind when I was learning about it in AFAM Studies, and it blows my mind today that people are still using hatred to drive this cycle of race means behavioral differences. And my husband's back from grocery shopping. All right, guys. Well, this is my life. I have to stop the video. Make sure these boys get everything we need. I hope this video got you guys thinking, got you guys wanting to read on the come up. I hope there's a movie in store, because I would love to hear these songs in real time. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment what the book you're reading now. I want titles, I want authors, extra points if you're reading a book from author, people of color, person of color. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. So I just realized that I spoke for like 5 minutes without having the recording through video on, and that just tells you how 2019 is going. Okay, so let's start over here.